Hello, and welcome to another episode of Command Protocols Podcast. This is episode 15, and today we're going to be talking about the ITT and our time there and all that jazz. How have you been, Andy?
I'm good, man. Been busy, work, play.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
been working, gymming. Started the gym like last year, but I was going one day a week and I didn't want to go, and now I've been really getting into it. So a lot of fun. Have you been playing any games
Well,
since
apart
the
from the
ITT?
ITT, I had a little RTT this week on Tuesday, which I took a weekend list as well, but slightly modified, and I nearly paid the price for that. But we'll go through that afterwards because it's quite
Yeah,
fun.
copied Danny, did you?
No, Danny
Yeah,
copied me.
yeah, he
Nah,
copied. Yeah, yeah.
nah.
Oh.
We'll talk about that later.
Well, so the ITT, in case you don't know, it's a giant team tournament in the UK, hosted by UKTC. Worst terrain format going, but I don't mind it. But
Best, better than Glasshammer.
yeah, true. Actually, once you play WTC, you just don't ever want to go back. Crazy,
Nah,
it's so
UKTC is
good.
nice. The missions are a bit. They need to
Yeah,
make some of the
they
missions
don't
a little
change
more.
anything. That's the problem. They
But
don't change.
if they did change the
Yeah,
missions and the layouts a little
they
bit,
should
so it
change
wasn't
it
always
every 3 months. To be honest.
every tournament. Why not get a
Yeah.
pool and just pick like 5 random missions rather than
Oh, that'd be
having
good.
the same? The thing is, I think it's because he has all the booklets made in advance. So if he changes them all up, it probably costs
Yeah,
him
well,
too much.
every 3 months. Yeah, well, this booklet for the
Yeah,
ITT was in the wrong order.
it was stapled wrong,
They
wasn't it? Yeah,
stapled it incorrectly, guys. So you basically opened the book, and I was like,
like round five,
"What?" It was
then
like
round one, then
Crucible.
round three. Like, what's going on
Yeah, it
here?
was like Crucible. I was like, "This ain't right. Surely, if they've not changed it without me knowing about it."
Yeah.
So, what team are you with? Who did you go with to the team tournament?
So I signed up late and I wasn't sure if I was going to get the time off, and I played with Mind Goblins B. Well, we say B team. We were, there's heavily contested who was A and B and C and stuff, but essentially Mind Goblins B,
Nice.
which was nice. They were a good group of lads. We
What
had
did your team
a good
comp
laugh.
consist of? Can
Myself
you
on
remember?
Necrons. We had Guard, CSM, Tyranids, and Emperor's Children.
Nice.
I hope that's right.
Well, yeah, shows how much attention you've paid.
Basically, yeah.
Nice.
Basically, yeah.
So
And yourself?
I went with one of the Team England
Mm.
squads. Yeah, Andy didn't get to go with us because he didn't tell anyone he was going.
Mm.
But yeah, I went with what could have been considered the England B team, but not so much at the end of the tournament. And again, I will go into that
Showed him who's
later on.
boss.
My team comp consisted of me on Awakened Necrons, Jonathan on 6 Dread Knights, Grey Knights, James on Windrider Host with cool little 10 Warp Spider unit, which is cool, and Shining Spears. Raf on EC, like the normal EC list with a 10 Infractor build, and Courtney on Warhorde
Orcs.
Orcs. So we had basically there was a call, a Discord call made when I was busy in Ireland, and they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna go 4 rush lists, and Matt can first defend," which is obviously exactly what we did in 3 of 5 of our rounds. The first 3, when we weren't taking it as seriously, we just first dropped me no matter what, and then just looked after James in the pairings, and then just ran at basically we just ran at people, and I managed to finish my game first. I think 3 out of 5 times. So clearly, I'm
Yeah.
the speed freak.
I mean, when you think about it, you didn't need to take it too seriously first 3 rounds because you didn't
No,
get
just
you didn't really get challenged too much, did you?
I mean, we played the all 5 teams we played against finished in the top 8 except one. So 4 out of 5 of our teams finished in the top 8. So yes, we did.
You didn't play against us, so that would have been a good round.
No, I didn't want to win that easy.
Oh,
Boom. Yeah,
boo.
I won my first round, so I didn't get to play you. So, So what did you take? What did you take? Because obviously I took Awakened,
I took Awakened as well.
and
I
you
mean,
copied me.
our lists were very similar. You copied me, obviously.
No, you copied me. It's my list. I perfected it. It's my
Really?
list. Yes, I have perfected Necrons, boys. So
That's a big
the list.
claim. That is a
Yeah, I
big claim.
perfected Awakened. Awakened. I've solved it. I've solved
Well, we
Awakened,
had a couple of differences. You had 2 units of Scarabs and a single Locust Destroyer, didn't
and
you?
they really did work.
And I
Big fan.
had two
And I'm gonna
um,
pull it up
two Gas
right now.
Destroyers because I was kind of the guy that was going into the big whole big shooty lists because they can't really deal with the Warriors too easily. I mean that was the game plan. If we actually had to face any of them, it never really came out like that. As it was,
Okay.
I played one shooty list at the end of it,
So this is my
but
list.
other than that, our list was exactly the same.
Yeah, so you might as well just look at this list and work it out, which is the difference between me and Andy. So this, I mean, I've covered this list many times because
Yeah.
I've been working on this list. So I'll quickly run through
I
it.
mean, we
I've
didn't
been
really
working on
talk
it for a
about the
while.
Psychomancers because we were going to talk about them last time, but we kind of
Yes,
just
so
forgot, glossed over.
I
But
will talk about
we
those now.
we are taking
So
Psychomancers.
double psychomancers. Yes, I was wrong in that one time that I said that they weren't very good. I apologize. I am allowed to make mistakes. I am also allowed to make mistakes.
Mm.
And 2 slots of scarabs because with the double psychomancer, the scarabs are so good. They just do everything. Like a 1OC swarm, fast moving. It's the only thing that we've really got outside of flayed ones that can actually get on the objectives early and do
Ophidians
a
moved
cleanse.
10 as well,
Yeah, and they cost the same
twice
as
as much.
2 Scarab squads.
And they're about as
Um,
resilient, if not worse. Yeah.
Scarabs beat Nurglings in a one-on-one. By the way, we found that out. So
If you roll it in perpetuity, then
yeah, if
scarabs
Scarabs
always win.
and if Scarabs and Nurglings just battle each other for 5 battle rounds, which I found out round 6, then Scarabs come out on top. Uh, yeah, just really, really good at doing actions early. Really good at screening your backfield if you don't want to do that.
Mm.
Good at getting on the objectives early. Move blocking. They do mortals. They're just good. They're just really, really good.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just the usual stuff.
Yeah.
So psychomancers. Okay, so if you don't know what psychomancers do, imagine a Death Leaper and a Neurolector put together and made better. So you basically pick a unit, an enemy unit within 18 inches at the start of any of your phases,
Mm-hmm.
and then it has to take a battle shock of -1. You don't need visibility. You just pick a unit, and it came up in every single game. And it's got a second ability where if your opponent's unit is within 6 inches of it and it's below starting strength, they've got to take a battle shock
In
at
their
minus
command
one
phase,
in
yeah.
their command.
Yeah. Again, it doesn't have to be visible. So
Yeah, so good at just stopping like strats that are good, reactive, and there's a lot of stuff in the game that's leadership 7 base, and even at leadership 6 going to
yeah,
7,
yeah.
it's
I mean,
really good.
I ran them as well. I was kind of unlucky with what I went against with my Psychomancers. I also took them to my RTT where they actually did really good work. And I also took 2 squads of Scarabs to my RTT, but it wasn't your list because I did some random changes, which we'll go through. But Psychomancers, in the right matchup, they're really strong. They really are.
Yeah, for
In the wrong
55
matchup,
points, 110-point investment,
hmm.
and I'm not kidding. They got me 4 to 5 differential points, which is multiples of 5, so 20 battle points of.
Of I think Matthew is having internet trouble once again.
Oh, I was having a I'm having a stroke.
It looks like you
Yeah,
are.
yeah. I was trying to use a different word other than points because I'd said it already. Yeah, they got me so many points in the games. I played against Orcs, leadership 7 across the board. And the thing is you basically just sit them from in safety, and there's in UKTC there's so many places to put them,
Yeah,
which cover
2 objectives.
either
Yeah.
2 objectives or 1.5 because sometimes you can't cover quite 2.
Or if it's
Um,
the hidden supplies one, you can cover 3 quite happily.
yes, which is excellent. And that was the game where they did the least amount. Well,
Hmm.
actually, the second least.
The one,
But yeah, still helpful.
the one thing I find is that they would probably be better in other detachments where we're not quite so good at holding primary, because the Warrior Awakened is pretty good at holding primary in general. So there are times when they just auto see you with other stuff. Whereas if you've got 4 warriors on a point and then you can always reanimate onto it, then quite often they don't even try and deny you that time.
But it's just another piece of counterplay because sometimes they can just put more OC than what you've got on there. Like it can be done if you, especially if you're stretched thin, and it's all about forcing your opponent to use more resources than they want to.
Hmm.
They can't just put
Or they just give up at that point and don't even try because they can see what's going to happen.
exactly. They
Yeah,
can't
which
just
is
put
good.
like one thing on there and just be like, yeah, this is 10 OC. You've got 8 on there. I deny it,
Well,
and
they
I'm
kind
not
of
going to
determine
attack
it
the warriors. So you
as we'll
can't
find out.
res, and it just helps.
Probably go straight into the games,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You, are you going to
yeah.
fix your internet first?
It's just existing, unfortunately. So
Okay.
I'm on my hotspot at the moment. So I didn't even try to sort that out.
Okay.
Right,
So
well, we'll jump straight into the games. Let's get rid of that. Oh, there you go. You swap sides. You deserve the left.
thanks. I guess that means I go first, right? Well, yeah, I'm going first since you decided to drop again.
Terrible.
So my round one, we paired against Mind Goblins A team. It always seems to be the way that when Mind Goblins put more than one team into the same tournament, that they end up pairing each other round one. So we got that round one, and it's a tricky matchup because there's a really good team. Matthew is gone forever, it would seem. So I will continue. Whatever. So I got um, Chaos Demons on Sweeping Engagement, which isn't the easiest deployment because
Oh, I've returned.
Matthew, you need to sort this shit out, buddy.
I think it was my computer. I think
Okay.
my entire computer just disconnected from the world.
Well, I have no idea if it's actually carried on recording while you were.
Yeah, it has.
It
Yeah, it's all
has.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
there's going to be some downtime. Maybe we'll clip that out or something. But as I was saying, I ended up on Sweeping Engagement against Demons, which is quite a little tricky thing because they can easily charge turn one if they get first turn. I got first turn, and yeah, it was a close win for me. I made a few mistakes early on with my positioning. I certainly wasn't aggressive enough holding the primary, and turn four especially, where I kind of expect at this point to hold basically all the points in the middle and deny him his primary. I was denying him really well, but I I just didn't hold the points well enough. So I didn't get as big a win as I was expecting. I was kind of thinking I was going to get 14 or 15. I ended up with a 12. Could have been worse if he hadn't failed a battle shock on his last remaining model, but we're also a little bit low on time, and I didn't even bother trying to kill it. So that was like, all right, to
Easy
be fair.
peasy.
Yeah, I mean, it was never a game where I was behind. I was always looking at winning the game. It was just how big I could get it, and the cards for me on turn one and two were absolutely atrocious. I really struggled. I really struggled to find it. It wasn't funny. I got overwhelming force and engage turn one,
2 points, baby.
2 points exactly, and then turn two. I'm going to have a look at my phone because it's been a while. I got behind and cleanse, and I got rid of behind because there was no way I was getting that on turn two. I started something in reserve, but of course it's turn two, so I can't get in his deployment zone because it doesn't have deep strike. I got Cull the Horde, and then I got assassination, and there was no chance of me killing any of his characters because he didn't have a. He was all 18-inch from Be'lakor, and Quite a few of them were hiding, so I didn't have the guns to commit at that point. I didn't want to run forwards, so I got 4 points secondary after 2 turns, despite cycling a card, and it was going to be a little bit rough, but I still tied him on secondaries overall. I didn't max primary, which is what I would have expected to do. He
Nice.
managed to deny my terraforming enough turns in a row. I think one of them was a 6-inch deep strike charge from 10 plague bearers, which took the points off me, even though I had two DDAs and some destroyers, I think, on the point, which is like, this is a lot of AC. It's going to be tough for you to take it off me, but nah, he still just managed to do it. So, yeah, it was an alright start. Unfortunately, it wouldn't have mattered if I had 20 0'd. We still wouldn't have won the round. We might have got a draw, but um, yeah, it was all right. He's a good player. So
What was your team called?
Mind Goblins, Croc Suckers,
Was it?
and I have no idea why we called that, because the original name was meant to be a bit better, but they changed it because I think they already had a team represented at the previous ITT, so they wanted to get higher ranking points or something.
Oh, I see.
But why they would choose that name in the first place, I don't know, because
God knows.
they have a weird one. I don't know.
All
Uh,
right. Well,
how was your
so
round one?
my round one, I was paired into Chaos Knights,
And a
and
kitten, right?
no, it wasn't a kitten. The guy I played was a kitten, but their team was meant to be good.
Hmm.
So they got James Ball on their team, who's somebody that's a member of Mind Goblins, I believe, as well. He's actually ranked quite high.
Right.
Um, and then there's obviously James Reed, who is the lad that was running the Phalanx 20 Lich Guard. So like a decent. Are you there? You still there? You like
Yeah, I'm
looking?
still here. I'm just
Oh,
waiting
yeah.
for
I was
us.
like, have I disconnected? Yeah. So I got paired into Chaos Knights.
I could do that quite a lot, actually.
I got to go first on Terraform, which I wanted to do, but
Mm.
I think he was very inexperienced with his army because he deployed his Rampager at the back of the board, like behind the big L, behind the
Right.
giant. And I was like, okay, well that's just not in the game now for the rest of the game. I drew Airy Denial Secure first turn, pretty good.
Nice.
I
Nice.
moved some warrior. It was a swift action, so I moved some warriors onto the middle, advanced them, and then advanced some flayed ones further into the middle, so we couldn't land any of his dogs on the center objective without charging. So managed to get a terraform off basically that he couldn't stop, and then I just got like 15 primary. The Psychomancer's that game because he's leadership 7 base. He had one dog on the objective on the side, and then I was Psychomancer Battle Shock, and then he would fail on an 8 and wouldn't hold the point, so then he wouldn't get terraform. And I did that twice in a row, and
Hmm.
then
Nice.
yeah, and then eventually he moved a dog in front of the building, and then my Scorpex charged it, killed it, and then I battle shot the guy behind and stopped Terraform again. So, yeah, it was basically just a really rough game for him, but I couldn't stop him from holding that objective in his turn
Mm.
and his home. So he was just always going to get some primary, and then he just kept scoring secondaries like he got 10 points on secondaries last turn, which
Nice.
changed it from a 18-2 to a 16-4. So it's a 16-4 to us. We got a very, very comfortable win at 89 points out of 100. I think the only person that got any points was James Ball, who got 6. The Chaos Knight
Yeah.
player got 4, and then the Tau guy got 1.
I think we got 41 points in our round one.
You
So,
did. You got 41.
but just so, like, it turns out when you use Psychomancers against Chaos Demons that if they pass, which they're getting +2 at because they've either got an icon and they're in shadow, that they heal as well. So it wasn't the most ideal matchup for Psychomancers in
Yeah.
that one. I was pointing at full squad units, but because he was getting +2, the
Yeah, it's
-1
really
was like,
difficult
all right,
to
okay.
get it to go off.
They did battle shock a few things, stopped him from heroicing a couple of times, and that's about it really. Like it didn't. It basically passed most of them as well,
So
which was.
round 2. What are
Mm.
you against this round? It's Purge the Foe,
It's Purge
Crucible
the
of
Foe. I look at our opponents' teams and I'm looking at it and I'm going, I really don't want to play this Vanguard Nids list because it has three squads of Gene Stealers, a squad of Warriors, all of which, when you add them together with the rest of the exocrine shooting and the Maltempters and all that, can actually do a number on the Warriors. Plus, it's all synapse, so Psychomancer is not going to be great against 3d6. So I pair into Vanguard Tyranids on Purge the Foe, which was fun.
Yeah, just what you wanted.
Pretty much. I was also the last. I was just standing in on the team, so it was fine. I was like, look, if there is a bad matchup that other people have got, then I'll take it. We were expecting me to get 5 or 6 points this round. That was what I was looking at. It's like I can score some points. I can play cagey with the Warriors, maybe kill a few guys, but like in a firefight, because I've only got 2 DDAs, I lose that firefight against his big bugs. So I don't really want to engage too early against them. And then obviously I've got the problem of the Warriors eating 30 Gene Stealers and 6 Warriors with a Prime. But as it was, I think he misdeployed his Warriors. They were at the back, and it enabled me, because I also, funnily enough, went first again on Purge, like you do. Bear in mind, round one I got overwhelming force again and no prisoners against an army that was blown up and I couldn't see. So that was fun
What
again.
the heck?
But he did give me a kill on turn one because he charged me and failed miserably in that respect. I managed to actually kill his unit and he didn't kill my unit. So yeah, it kind of went well from there. Basically, I had a DDA that I managed to move up and basically cover the entire egress point for his warriors. So he just had to sit there till turn 4. Like there was no point he could come out because I stayed out of charge range, covered my DDA with the warriors so that nothing else could charge it. And then he just had to sit there until turn 4 because he knew as soon as he come out, he's just going to eat a DDA with Deathwing sitting on 2s to the face. As it was, by that point, I was pushing for a bigger win than I had, so I went into the Warriors and gave him a couple of extra points. Like he got some assassinate from it, which wasn't ideal, but at that point I was trying to get a big 20, and I ended up with was it 16,
It
15?
was 16.
16 point win again. The secondaries were a bit tough, but I maxed primary quite easily on that, and I denied him. He only got 28 points primary because I denied him hold and kill and throughout the game. So it was a fairly convincing win in the end. The Gene Stealers didn't kill the Warriors. He didn't even try. He was like, I can't kill him. And then he just basically handed me all of his Gene Stealers. He's like tried to kill a DDA turn 1 with the Gene Stealers that didn't, and then I heroic with my Scorpec. And because of how he wrapped my DDA, only one of his Gene Stealers could fight my Scorpec Destroyers, so he didn't kill any, and then the Scorpecs literally killed the whole Gene Stealer squad apart from the Broodlord, which gave me the kill turn 1. And it was just downhill from there, really. So yeah, I'll take that win. Another good match for the Psychomancers. I don't think he failed one battle shock. I just gave up on them at that halfway through the game.
3d6, yeah.
3d6, every single thing was within synapse the whole game.
They're just action monkeys at that point.
Yeah, but I didn't have the action that I wanted, and plus because they're only toughness 4 wounds with a 4-up save, they're just so easy. I didn't even
on
want to give him
Purge
the
as
kill.
well.
Yeah, I didn't want to give him the kill, as it were.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't really kill him either, but apart from all of his infantry.
Well,
Right.
so
So,
yeah,
yeah.
you smashed that round. Some easy pairing there. You got 79 points to 21.
Yeah, the rest of the
Yeah,
team did really well that
5
round as well.
wins. Yeah, not bad at all.
What was the name of the team we were playing? I can't even remember.
Warwickshire
The
1 and
Warwickshire
4
Hawks. Yeah.
Hawks.
I did ask them why they called themselves that because they were better than 1-4 on paper as well. There were some good players in that team, and but they were like the B team for the Warwickshire Warhawks as well. They said so. They just I don't know what did they finish because you must have it up on there.
I don't have the placings. Let me just quickly.
I can get it. Well, I'll have a look while you go for your.
Yeah. So we paired. I spoke to Reese, who is a friend of the channel, friend of ours, and I spoke to him after round 1 or during round 1, and I was like, "Oh, how's your round going?" And he's like, "Oh, it's looking like it might be a loss." I was like, "Oh shit!" He's like, "Yeah, I scored like 16 in the first round." I was like, "Oh, so did I." And he's like, "Oh, wouldn't it be funny if we played against each other?" And then look who I fucking pair into Eldar reroll, and I see his name, Reese
Mm,
fucking Darville. I was like, "You're kidding me!" And
nice,
he's gonna want a game. He's gonna want to play me. I know he is because he beat me last time we played each other. But I was back with a vengeance,
nice.
and so on their team they've got Imperial Knights, Votan, Dark Angels, Chaos Space Marines, and GSC.
Yeah,
I don't really want to play against the Chaos Space Marines all that much. Like it's going to be a loss because he can kill the brick with his friggin' uh
possessed, possessed
no, it's not
ACDC,
possessed, it's ACDC.
and he
Yeah,
has Cipher as well, which makes our life
yeah, it's just
very
tough.
difficult.
And I was like, I'll play into anything else, but on Purge as well, it's a bit awkward. Um, and then I was like, oh, I could play into Dark Angels all right because he can't kill the brick.
Mm.
And then GSC is the same thing. I predicted big win into GSC, especially on Purge. But yeah, I go down first, obviously, because that's the rule. And they give me Reese and the Space Marine player, and I really wanted to play the Chaos Space Marine player just so Reese would fuck off, just because I didn't want to fucking play Reese. I was like, yeah, I get to play this CSM player, and then they're like, no, you need to take
Gosh,
Reese because it makes the pairing better for us. Like
yeah,
him staying in is a bigger win for all of us than you like taking the loss for Reese because on Purge, like it's a loss. Like I would say it's a loss because if he just holds like covers the space in the middle and gets hold more, I can't actually fucking do anything about it. And
mm,
then he had a Calidus as well, so he can sit that covering the center. And then I got board choice and I picked the light board just to take it away from their Votan. But apparently, you know what happened? The guy doing their pairings put the second defender down and put the wrong card down. Put the wrong card down.
oops.
So it basically meant that they put down, I believe they put down Chaos Space Marines. So we just attacked into it with like the two best things into it. It was the guy was like, "No, I swear I didn't put that down." Like we can't do anything about it. Like
Oops.
you've seen ours, and you can't. It's just an unfortunate mistake that you really need to check.
Yeah,
So anyway, I start playing Reese. I go first on Purge, of course, but I really don't care because I'm not gonna fucking try and kill him. I need the space basically. I need to get on the objective early, and I need to hold the primary. So I advance the warriors, and they get onto the middle and the top, and
mm,
Zeraz is on the top as well. I've got a DDA pointing down into his deployment zone from the top, and a DDA at the bottom pointing down into his deployment zone. I shoot one of his knights. I do barely any damage. I shoot another knight. I do no damage with the DDAs. I was like, well, this is a good start.
that's not like you because you usually have a really good start into Reese, don't you?
Yeah, usually a good start. But then, and we have a lot of banter when Reese and I play, like a lot of banter. And I was in the middle with the Warriors, and he had obviously had a game plan. He moved the Lancer up, charged the Warriors in the center instead of just sitting on the objective, which was a mistake, because then he tank shocked fought me. So I pulled everything off this objective that's on my expansion because I got it on both sides. I pulled everything off that side and just rezzed it all into the middle. And I was like, "Oh, Reese, did you mean to give me this 6 inches extra movement from the piling consolidate and res forward and then fall back, shoot, charge, and tag your three knights back there? Did you mean to do that?" Well, that was a funny moment because of the banter, and I did exactly that. I got hold more. I got a kill. I tagged his lancer and two little knights because I didn't want to tag three because I didn't want them all attacking me. I felt a bit stretched out at that point. And his Calidus was not in a good position whatsoever. We discussed it after the game where he just
Mm,
misplaced the Calidus quite a bit in that game.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I just basically tagged him up, and the Psychomance. I got 16 primary, and then I pretty much didn't get a kill until turn 4. I killed Canis and the Lancer turn 4.
nice.
Finished them off, I should say, because Sir Hector, I had to finish him off. I basically just like went out. I had my go turn because he failed both his battle shocks in the middle with the Lancer and Canis,
Mhm.
which meant that
No fun.
I Yeah, well, it was in my turn. He did that in with the Lancer. Sorry, yeah, he failed in his turn with the Lancer, my turn with the with Canis, but it meant that I could get area denial despite him being within 6 inches of with both because they're battle shocked.
Yeah.
And then yeah, no rotate either. I basically didn't commit enough. I didn't commit the second squad of Scorpex into the Lancer to kill it as well on that turn, which was turn three. So I didn't get any kill turn three, but then turn four, I got 14 points on Bring It Down. So
Ooh,
not too bad.
that's game changing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have noticed from my games with Reese that he does sometimes misplay the Calidus Assassin. Like he doesn't use it aggressively enough.
yeah.
Like on
He
his
had
turn,
it poking around.
yeah, like on his turn, he needs to put it within 12 of all the things that you want to keep alive and go, right, now everything's twice as expensive. You
Yeah.
can't do what you want to do. Like, you can't res a character and reanimate your warriors. You can only do one of those things.
And at one point during the game, I did the thing where I strung out again with the warriors and tagged the the armigers again because they couldn't move. So I tagged them a second time. Zeraz was tagging an armiger. I was just tagging
Mm.
everything I could touch. I just didn't want him to move anywhere. Um, and I basically rezzed with the arc. He killed a few of the warriors, but because I was so strung out, I rezzed with just the arc and not the strat because it would have been an extra CP. And then I rolled a double one on a number of models, and I'd been pulling each like in between the warriors so I needed to res quite a few to make up coherency again. And then I rolled another double one, like because I get to re-roll the dice, and I was like, oh shit! So I lost like all of my warriors by bar six.
For
Uh,
coherency.
but it was yeah, but it was going into my turn, and I rezzed quite a lot back anyway because I charged the Lancer again and then rezzed back and stuff. But yeah, it ended up he basically needed on the last turn to kill one thing to make it a 10. I think we said, and he didn't. Like he only had like one thing left that wasn't tagged up. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was a 13-7 to me. We won the round 64-36.
Nice.
But I spoke to Reese about it afterwards, and I said that charging the Lancer in turn one was a mistake because
Yeah.
he was never going to kill the brick. He was always going to give me hold more, which is massive. Instead of just like sitting on the point, and he could have just sat on the point and hoped he passed the battle shock because it was better than what he did. Because then he just gave me movement and he let me charge and shit like that. So
So,
big,
so he after the game he came over to my table because he quite often in the tournaments that we go to he wins his games in like half an hour, 40 minutes, and he comes over. He's like, "You're right, boss. Like, you're an absolute animal. How do you win these games so quickly?" So he came over, and I was like, so smash your little kit, and opponent did you?" And he's like, no, I lost. I'm like, wow. And then he said he played against you, and we had a chat about the game. He's like, oh yeah, I learned a lot from that game. So when I face you later on, I'll know what to do. I'm like, really, really, okay.
yeah,
You know,
easier opponent for him.
yeah, you're helping train people to beat me, but yeah, it's still good. I love Reese. I'm playing with him in a team event at the end of the month in
Oh yeah.
Bolton, so looking forward to that. It'll be a good laugh.
Yeah, that will be really good. Yeah, he was really, really good opponent. A lot of banter.
Mhm.
Felt good to actually beat him this time. But yeah, the what when you play the Warriors right, that you don't even need to kill the fucking. As I said,
Yeah,
I only actually scored kill battle round two and battle round four. I did not get a kill, and I was pretty unlucky to not get a kill uh, in the other rounds. But I didn't need to. I just basically tagged everything, and as long as he's not on the objectives completely, like if
yeah,
his base is on the objective, then it's really difficult. But because I got there first,
especially the big
uh,
nights. Yeah,
yeah, and I just kept tagging him, I just kept tagging him, touching him on the objective. As long as he doesn't move and then kills me,
hmm.
then I'm fine. Just him shooting me and me pulling back because then he's just stuck there. Then,
Yeah.
which is exactly what I did.
There are some games where the Warriors like really group up and you fall back and you're all within six. You reroll your hits for lethals and you can do good 10, 12 damage to something quite big and chunky and then charge back in and tag everything. But then there are other games where you have to spread out and you look at it and you go, well, I've got three Warriors shooting this and two there, and you're just like, I can't be asked.
Yeah, I usually just do it like a bit at a time, and I'm just say to my opponent like, obviously,
Like,
I like. I'm just gonna count I'm gonna like these seven are here. I'll do that
yeah,
seven. It's like, and then I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's like, these ones will shoot here. Oh, 1, 2 into this
yeah.
guy.
Well, I had that quite a few games, so I'm looking at it and I'm going, well, So I've spent the CP to reroll hits. So I've got 6 rerolling hits here with 3 that aren't rerolling hits. Then I've got another 5 that are rerolling hits and 1 that isn't. And then over here I've got 2 cryptos, and it's
Hmm.
like, wow, it's picking my
Oh
head now.
shit! Yeah, I didn't shoot the cryptophores again. Do you know I've never shot them?
But they're so bad though because they don't have lethal hits, and they're winning
Yeah, I
everything
just
on sixes. It feels
I
like
keep
so.
forgetting they've got a gun.
Yeah, it's
I've
only 2
never one
shots in a
shot them.
6 rinse range, so it's not like it's
Yeah,
really
I've just
strong.
never
But
shot them. Like I deserve.
see,
I've just never. I keep forgetting they've got it.
yeah, I mean, if you did a map of how my crypto thralls are throughout the game, it's crazy because on one side they're like over there, and then they warp over to the other side to do some melee, then they die, and then they're back in the middle to do some melee, and then they're back
Yeah.
on the left and they do a bit of shooting, and yeah,
I,
they're just crazy these little
the thought
guys.
process I have when I'm deploying them is like, okay, I don't want them somewhere where I'm forced to take wounds on them just so I have to pull them out of sight.
Mm.
That's like my thought. So I'm like,
And
I don't want
yeah,
this here because then they'll
especially especially if you're facing like 2 damage weapons where you want to be pulling warriors instead.
yeah,
But and it's the same when you look at their army and you go, okay, what have you got that's like AP one that doesn't ignore cover because then you want them in cover so you can get 3 up saves,
yeah, exactly.
and then you're not relying on
I
Serais.
certainly did go to ground a lot.
You know what? I never did that once. I didn't even think about it.
I did it for the 6 up invuln once.
I
I was like,
heroic,
yeah, I
yeah,
need to die.
I heroic for free for a few times, but that's about it.
Oh yeah, I heroics a bunch in
Yeah.
pro position.
So
So round three,
round
what are you
round
again?
3. So we drew a team of where I know a couple of the players, one of which is a local Necron player who
Objectives op,
I don't know what they were called.
optional.
He
Objectives optional.
Yeah, and he always comes up to me and says, "Oh, it looks at your list," and I always wonder, like, how do you win with that list? And I'm like, well, okay, maybe we'll pair into each other and we'll find out. But he rejected me, and I ended up playing into Tau, which I personally hate playing Tau, but Awakened Necrons is really really good into Tau, especially Kaoyun, which
It
is what
is.
my opponent was playing, and I've played him twice before, and every single time it's been literally 100 to 20 something score. Um, and this was no different. It was what was round 3? It was hidden
Hidden
supplies
supplies taken hold.
on search and destroy, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So the Spycomancers went crazy. They literally battle shocked everything, but it didn't matter because everything basically died. I just rushed my entire army at him. All my melee just went as quickly as I could. Tagged him. I didn't have any of my characters attached, like Scorpex attached, because I just wanted to launch the Scorpex at him. I knew that the Scorpic destroyers themselves would die, but the characters, I don't care if you shoot them because they're just going to get back up and you can't do anything about it afterwards. So I just sent all them. Sarah's 3 Scorpic lords, off we go. And essentially, he kept a lot of his shooting in reserves, came down, didn't kill anything, and then I just destroyed half his army with my DDA's actually killed things this game as well,
Woohoo.
which was really nice. And he kind of gave up
So
after
you
10.
played another easy round, another kitten.
It was my first kitten, if you want to call it that, but I don't know. I think he might object to being called a kitten. So I'm not calling you a kitten, Andrew. You're a solid guy, nice player, but you just end up playing a bad matchup every time we play, basically. So yeah,
Yeah, Tau are
but
not amazing at the
he
moment.
he also said, like, he looked at the Matrix and he just didn't have a good matchup, so he just said, "Well, I'll just take Andy out of the equation." And try and score some points, but I didn't even let him score any points. This was like the game where I didn't actually draw shit secondaries turn 1. I drew secure and marked, and obviously didn't get marked. I couldn't kill anything, but I got secure. And after that, it was like assassination engage. Yeah, you've given me one character, well, let's kill that character. And off we went. And I scored 15 points every single turn on primary. I think from turn 2 onwards, I was holding 5 objectives.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
All right, well, fucking A, good effort. 20-0.
I think we all won our games as well that round.
You did not. No, Matthew Langdon got a draw.
Oh.
So
Okay, well, fair enough.
18 to 82. Not bad. It's so round
Yeah.
3 we paired into Redacted, and Redacted is the team that's owned or captaining was Luke Townsend, and I'd played Luke Townsend once before in the
Mm.
England like tryouts, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. Like we did like a kind of a, what is it called now? Like a,
Scrim.
no, not Scrim, but the names is going to escaping me. But fucking hell, it's going to bother me that. But anyway, I
You
played him
played a
before,
game. You played a
and
game. Yeah.
so I first dropped again. Obviously, that's the rule. First drop me, and I said to them, I was like, they're gonna put World Eaters and Emperor Children into me. I was like, that is what they're gonna do.
Hmm.
I'm predicting it. I said my Matrix was really good that round, though. I mean, it was actually really good most rounds because I'm really confident with the list now. So I know exactly what it's good into and what it's not. And let me look around three super quickly.
Admech. Yeah, I see Admech, which I assume was like
So
smallish win for you.
Admech
Because
on this was small win.
World Eaters should be big win, right?
World Eaters was small win because it's search and destroy, and he can it's still like swingy. It's still swingy.
And then
If you can get
Custodian,
into me, Custodian's a small win.
Eldari, big win, right?
And Eldari was big win, yeah. I was like, so obviously they put World Eaters and Emperor Children, and Emperor Children I had as a draw, because I'm like, I played against Nas like a bunch of times. If he plays it right, it is really hard because he can because you're so close as well. You can kind of attack
Yeah,
into my DZ very easily, and it's quite hard to screen it out because you're only concentrated in a core of the board. But then I got board pick, and I just went light board. I said light board, and I'm now. It's a big win. I was like, it's a big win now. I was like, he can't stage anywhere except his home. So if I just screen out my important pieces with the Warriors, which I know he can't one shot because he didn't have 10 man infractors, um, and so yeah, I just basically did that, and he went first, and he made a very questionable play by just speed running. Is it tormentors, the shooty ones? He speedrun tormentors at me, which are the shooty scout infiltrate guys, not
oh
scout
yeah,
infiltrate sticky.
yeah.
And then he tried to move block me, and I was thinking to myself like, this isn't a move block
No,
because
it's just
I can
slingshot.
walk around you, like, and yeah, but I could. He wasn't blocking anything.
It's just a
Like,
slingshot for the
yeah,
Warriors, right? It's
I was
like,
like,
oh,
right,
here's a free
okay.
charge to gain an
Zeraz
extra
still went onto the
nine
point on the
inches on the
side.
flank.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because there was no middle objective. It was split. So Zeraz went one way and the Warriors went the
yeah,
other way. I
yeah.
was like, okay, you're just giving me a free unit. But the funny thing that happened though, I shot him with the DDA and I rolled one on the number of shots. CP re-rolled it, rolled two,
Mm-hmm.
killed one guy, and then the fucking Tesla killed four guys. Not the Tesla, the Gauss killed four guys.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I handed him 12 saves and he
Because
failed eight.
he's toughness 5, right?
Toughness four. Toughness four.
Really?
Just
Yeah,
normal.
okay.
There's no Marines. They moved seven. That's what the difference is. But yeah, he just failed eight saves. I was like, oh shit, yeah, they're dead. Yeah, that was really funny. And
I'm surprised you didn't
yeah,
pick the World Eaters though. If you had the choice,
because me taking away Emperor Children was
better for everyone
better.
else. Yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough.
and I said that I could get a better win, like into Emperor Children if I got the board pick.
Yeah, well,
Whereas World Eaters are still, World Eaters is they
I've
do have a lot of damage.
I played their World Eaters player in Sheffield last year, so yeah, I know he's a good player.
Yeah. So I anyway ended up. I had Zeras in the open, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't just sit and let you do this. I'm going all in." Yeah, he killed
I
three
love I
scarabs,
love it when they
five.
say that.
He killed three scarabs, five flayed ones, and did four damage to
Yeah,
Zeras.
yeah.
And
It's
I was like, "Oh, yeah." I just went to the rest of my team in a line, and I went, "Yeah, it's a big win. Like I can push now. I'm probably going to get minimum 15."
it's nice
Uh,
when you can position yourself out like that, and they look at it and go, "Oh, I've got to full send everything," and when they do, they kill nothing, and you're like, "Well,
yeah.
sweet."
He also misplayed his enhancement, which I didn't realize, where he had
Right.
an enhancement I wasn't aware of, which basically forces you to take a leadership check, and then if you fail it, you take D3, you take three mortal wounds or whatever.
Hmm.
But failing a leadership test doesn't battle shock you, and it's specifically a leadership check, not a battle shock test. But
Okay.
he said I was battle shock, so I couldn't res. Luckily, I didn't die anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, slight misplay
Did you use your Royal Warden?
to unbattle shock. No, because he was at the back of the board and Zaraz was up in his face.
Okay.
So a thing that I always tell people to do is you need to just like speed run those fucking characters at their face.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of games as well. I just ran them as fast as I could into their deployment zone. I was like, go forth and
Yeah.
be
Conquer.
annoying, and that's
Just be
exactly what I
annoying.
did.
Yeah. Just tag everything.
But I didn't do
Move
it in
block.
I
Yeah.
didn't do it in that. I tagged the demon princes, but the reason I didn't go into his deployment zone is because he had rhinos there, and I didn't really want him to tag him with the rhino all game. But yeah, it was not a very close game at all. It ended up 16-4 to me. Because again, he just kept scoring cards. Like he only scored 5 less on cards than me, and he literally was getting no primary. He was getting
Yeah.
5 every round, but he was just scoring cards every single round. I was like, oh shit, and I was too.
Yeah.
But I turned 1 and 2. I only got 7 combined. But yeah, it was a pretty big stomp. We won that round quite handily,
Nice.
62-38 again. Um, yeah, and Jonathan got our first loss for the tournament out of
Oops.
out of our entire team. So yeah, good round 3. 3-0 after
Yeah.
day 1.
Good
You're
start. We're 2-1,
2-1. So
which
yeah, we're
was
doing all
okay.
right. And
Yeah.
then food, we were both going to go to this burger place, but with
Oh God, this burger
you were
place.
going to go with the Mine Golden guys, and I was going to go with the England guys. And
Yeah.
then but it was in the center of Birmingham town, and I was like, "Oh, I can't." I had to take my van out of the venue because I sleep in my van because I've got a big bed in there and everything. And I was like, "I need to take my van out of the venue, but I'll just park it in town." Nah,
Hmm.
no parking
No.
whatsoever anywhere. That it was like 12 quid for a couple of hours. I was like, "This is not worth
I
it."
paid a fiver.
Yeah, I just said I can't be bothered. I was like, I
Yeah.
just text you. I was like, I'm just gonna get a Mackey's and go and
You
watch.
did. You didn't
Uh,
miss much. Like I got.
yeah,
So I was meant to be following one of them to the venue to eat because they knew where the parking was. So he's just like, just follow me. And then there was a car between us, and it came up to a junction where the lights changed. And instead of stopping and waiting, he put his foot down and went through. And just left me in the middle of Birmingham. I hadn't got my sat nav set up. I didn't know where we were going. I was like looking around,
yeah,
going, I'm in the middle of all this traffic, and like, well, this is not good. So I managed to find the place we were going and then drove there, and I could see the parking, but it was like 15 minutes drive to get to the parking because it was all one way streets and traffic. And so then I parked up and finally got there. But the food, it wasn't very good. They tried to
yeah,
bring out Team England food and tried to tell us that it was our food, and we are like, no, no one ordered that. Like, yeah, you definitely did. It's like, no. Then they finally got our food, and like 5 people's meals were missing, and yeah, so you didn't miss much. It was like 25 quid ahead roughly for beer and an average burger. So
yeah.
not worth going. We should have
The
gone for a
biggest,
curry.
yeah, I regret that. The biggest regret as well was driving into the ULEZ bit because I had to then pay 8 quid
Oh,
to
you
go.
have to pay, do you? Oh,
Well, yeah, I've got to pay, yeah, for sure.
I don't have to pay.
Yeah,
I
well,
check that because otherwise, yeah, it's kind of annoying.
yeah, I had to. I assume I have to pay. I've got
Well,
an old as fuck van.
the venue is just outside it, which is
It
fine.
was, and
Yeah,
I drove into it. Just I was like, well, let's go 16 quid. What a scam that is! I mean, I could go on about that, but
and you could get a more economical.
yeah, I ended up watching
Yeah.
BFS, and I was cheering Nas along because he was playing against Richard Siegler.
Okay.
Uh, so yeah, I just watched that and went to bed. So
Fair
yeah,
enough.
day 1 done. Day 2, who did you pair into for round 4?
I don't remember the name of the team. This
I
is
will tell you. I'm
Thank
here.
you. Yeah. Um, Tell me the name of the team.
I will. I've just accidentally
See if I can remember it.
gotten rid of it. It is Tuesday
Tuesday
nights.
nights. That was it. Yeah. So they were a team that had.
Nicholas Willingale absolutely letting you down, your team down like every round. It's like looking at the score and like, oh no.
Well, he did the classic. Oh, I can get you a 20, and then sometimes didn't. But he also had some tough matchups. But yeah, so Tuesday nights had lost to a different Mangoldman's team the night before. So we knew going in that they weren't pushovers, but we should be able to win. And they had a Chaos Space Marines that was Cypher and Possessed, and I was like, look, don't put me into that. Put me into anything else. Anything else
Mm.
is fine. Like Votan, um, historically could be quite bad for us because they do have some units that are really good into the Warrior Blob, but you'd
Yeah.
also lost that night in round 3 against Necrons as well, playing Awakened. So, like, I felt, like I could
Yeah, he doesn't
play
have any
Awakened
of
as
the
well.
answers for.
So, I think they first defended with me. I can't remember exactly, but I ended up playing into Eldar, which I was like, look, this should be a big win for me. Um, it's Yunari. I know all the tricks. I know how it plays. They can't kill the warriors. Let's just push them forwards, which is exactly what I did. I did that classic thing where I again went first and drew no prisoners overwhelming force
Nice.
every time. Man, I get so unlucky. So I scored no secondaries turn 1 because I don't really want to cycle a card turn 1. It's I need my CP later in the mid game just to like keep everything alive, get all my characters back up, and I don't feel like I want to cycle a card when there's only a 33% chance of actually scoring it on turn 1. So I kept it. I'm basically max primary every turn. Turn 2, I got behind enemy lines and assassination, so I cycled behind and got assassination and bring it down. And the only thing that I could kill was the Incarn, which he had put out, and he spent about 5 minutes deciding whether he wanted to put the Incarn like along the flank. But I had one DDA that could move up and just see down the line through the center, and he spent about 5 minutes deciding if he wanted to leave it at the back or if he wanted to push it out, so it could then do something next turn if I didn't kill anything. And he decided to push it out, and then I drew bring it down and assassinate, and I had one DDA that could shoot this Incarn, and the DDA actually came through. I think it was 4 on the number of shots. So I didn't re-roll it. I got 4 hits, 4 wounds, and he failed hit all his saves.
OP.
So there's not even any point CP rerolling. The Incarn died. I actually got 7 secondaries that turn, and I was sat there the whole turn before I shot my DDA, thinking I'm just not going to score any secondaries again because I can't get assassinated because all those other characters are like hiding or in transports or something. And yeah, it looked like it was going to be really really bad, but I managed to kill the Incarn. But again, I made a couple of littleish errors that let him score a few points. I was trying to deny him a lot, but then the secondaries still came out really poorly for me, and I only ended up getting 25 out of 40, even though I dominated the whole game. It just came out awful. Like I got recover assets, so I tried to do recover assets, and he actually denied me recover assets. With like it cost him 3 units, I think, to deny the recover assets. But he stopped me
Maybe not
scoring
worth.
3 points. Like he knew he was losing the game, so but he stopped me scoring those 3 points. So then obviously I ditched it the following turn. But I got like sabotage and established locus, and I couldn't sabotage because he could just do the same thing again. So I had to ditch it, and it was just annoying. So we ended up getting, I think it was 40-point win, which is 15 again. I think it's 15.
Yes, you got 15. Yeah.
So I was a bit disappointed on that one. I felt like it should have been a lot better. I denied him primary. Basically, the entire game, apart from one turn, he managed to score 5 points for the centre, which I didn't want to overextend. And, you know,
Yeah, and your team ended up with a 2 point win to win the round by two
yeah,
points.
and I was one of the last, I think I was the last person playing potentially at the end. So I knew that I had to be careful. I just couldn't make a mistake to let him back in, and because at any point, you could just draw a couple of really nice cards and score 10 points at the end, and suddenly those 2 points are just lost. So I had to kind of make sure I did it properly. But yeah, it would have been nice to be slightly. He got containment turn 5, which he was able to do to give him 6 points with his last 2 units, basically. I think it was something along those lines. So could have been a bigger win, but that was the story of my event. Really,
I
it could have been a bigger win.
mean, that's how mine was. I mean, most of my games I had low secondaries, which just fucking is what it is.
Well, that's the thing with Awakened is you're generally really good on primary, but in secondary is not necessarily so good.
It's just
And
like most armies.
like the Psychomancers didn't really do much. He made a big mistake turn 1 where he charged my Scorpec and flayed ones with his Howling Banshees. he just let me heroic with the Warriors for free or whatever it was. I just heroics, and then I killed a couple of Warriors, but I ended up getting on 2 points in the center because of that, because of the movement and the piling and consolidation.
Yeah.
And he didn't kill the flayed ones. He didn't kill the character, and then I just killed the banshees. So it was, yeah, it was a bit rough for him in some of those. But if you don't know how to play it against the Warriors, then
That is
sometimes
it.
it surprises you. But he also plays Necrons, so
Oh. Well, he might not play Warriors.
oh, I know.
Difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of new to them as well. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, round
It's
4 for you.
nice. So we look. I look at. I get back to my van. I look in the who I'm paired into. Fucking the other England team, the supposed A team
Suppose it.
the supposed A team that consists of
Handpicked by Robbo, right?
handpicked by Matt Romero of Jack Tight, Tom Lohman, Greg Chamberlain, and Alex Fowler, who
Yeah.
are all very, very good players, and they probably would have been on my team if I fucking picked 5 out of the 8 that could attend, or 4 out of the 8.
Yeah.
So yeah, tough. Our matrix is looking like absolute dog shit as well. Like Jonathan's like, I don't want to play into anything. Fucking,
You got to play
uh,
against something.
yeah. It's like I don't want to play into any of these. Any of these. Uh, James Webster's like, we've got like fucking 7 flip games on our matrix. Like big, like it's just a flip. Depends what happens. And then I said small loss into Greg, into Jack. Uh,
Small loss into Jack, into Orcs, really?
Yeah, that's what I said. I was wrong, but that's what I said. Because
Okay.
he's got, I didn't know what the list did, and he's got a lot of fucking guns.
Hmm.
And also the deployment, he can kind of just shoot into my deployment zones, so it's really difficult. And if he chooses the right board, then I'm going to really struggle to hide.
So they had Tyranid. No, I'm looking at the wrong one here, aren't I?
Yeah, they
Oh,
had Tyranids,
Tyranid.
Greg.
So that he was on what, Invasion Fleet, Crusher? Or...
Yeah, yeah.
So surely that's a win for you, right?
No, it's pretty tough. He's got a lot of the
And
big shit. He can just like he's got like the 20-man Hormagaunts as well that I can't really do anything about.
they are quite tough, especially when they reanimate D3+3.
Yeah, which is exactly what would happen.
Which is why do they get to reanimate D3+3 when we don't do that with our warriors?
Theirs
That's
is
bullshit.
theirs is a lot less than ours in the grand scheme of things,
D3+3, mate. 2
and theirs
units.
don't have a 4 up invuln. But
No.
yeah, and then it was big win into Custodes Dreads, which I knew they wouldn't want to put me into. But
Yeah.
this was the first game that we didn't drop me down first because it would have been bad.
Fair.
And we dropped Jonathan down, and then they dropped Tom down. We attacked with Eldari and I think it was
I mean,
Orcs.
Eldari into GSC would be funny, right? He'd just rip him and
Yeah.
really.
Well, they picked Eldari because they didn't want the other one. So they picked Eldar,
Right.
which was because it is a flip because he's playing Host of Ascension, so he does have a lot of.
Right.
He can drop whenever he wants, and
Yeah.
then the bike's kind of like alpha strike you, but there's nothing to alpha strike because
Yeah.
everything's off the fucking board. So it is a swingy game.
Mm.
Depends who goes first.
But he's
If
also quick
G-Circle
enough
gets to go
to. He's the Aldar is quick enough to actually screen out the whole
screen,
board turn
yeah,
one
yeah.
as
Well,
well.
that's why it's a coin flip
Yeah.
because if the Eldar go first, they can potentially like rush you and screen off the board.
Mm.
Because the way his list works is that he can pick up a lot of units. Obviously, he can't in this one, but all of his units in reserves can come in a turn earlier.
Yeah.
So he can just, and then he's got like bikes that move fucking really quick. He's got the 10 unit of warp spiders that move 22 inches and then can still charge.
26. Warspite is 26. Can't charge.
26, sorry, yes, you're
Can't
correct.
charge. You
26.
can shoot.
Can charge. Lycith. They got Lycith in the squad, so they can charge.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, it's just and then he's got 2 squads of Banshees that move like fucking 14 plus D6 and charge.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's some bullshit anyway.
This
It's not probably not 14, but it's a lot.
8 plus
So
a bank.
it's fucking quick and +2 or whatever. So it's very very quick, and it has the ability to just rush. So it did. So they attacked Jonathan with Custodes and Custodies and Tyranids, and then we rejected Tyranids because that's a big loss for Jonathan. So he took another swing into Custodies, which basically is like if he can kill him, if he can kill him, then he wins, and if he can survive him, then he wins. It's just a swingy game. Um, and then they put down Jack, second defender, and we had no choice but to attack him with me and Courtney, and they knew that it was a bad matchup for both apparently, so they chose me, hoping that he could get bored because he'd get board pick, and he just picked the open board. And then Matt ended up playing Courtney's Orcs, and Raphael ended up playing Greg's Nids. So we basically had like a bunch of fucking coin flips, and I was predicting a loss. Luckily, I go second this time, which was not the first time; it was the second time I went second. And uh, Jack has like he's basically got. Oh yeah, and also I've already done a video of like a run through this whole game on TTS. So if you want to watch that after I've posted this, it'll probably be up the day after I post this. So if you want to watch that, I'll be doing a lot more of an in-depth guide. So I'm going to run this a bit slower. Sorry, I'm going to be a bit quicker with this, and then you can watch that video. But essentially, yeah, he was running like Gorkum Noughts and shit, and just loads and loads of guns. He almost killed he killed two DDAs in one turn, and then because I could have screened them out, but I was being a fucking idiot. Because round four, I always play like shit, and I could have screened them out and stopped him from doing that, but he just one shot them both. But then he failed to kill the warriors, and then the Psychomancers and the warriors pretty much just ran the game. He scored 3, 8, 8, 8 primary, and then I got 8, 13, 13, 13, and that was literally just down to the Warriors battle shocking these Gorkanauts on the fucking objectives. And then I had one guy on the point, and then I just battle shock him and take it off him. It was fantastic. He was like, I fucking hate Sankomancers. Oh, it was so. He was like, Sankomancers need to get in the bin. Like this, they literally changed the whole game. They've taken 5 diff points off me this game. It was so funny.
Yeah, into
But
the right
yeah,
match, into the right matchup, they can
yeah,
make it.
this is the matchup. So that he was like, "Yeah, I've got it down as a small loss," and I was like, "Yeah, I should have put it as a win." This is crazy. If he fails the go turn, then I can just take over the board. I literally
Yeah,
just tagged. Do you know he overwatched my 4 up Feel No Pain Score Pet Lord with tank busters and one shot it? Just fucking one shot it. Like it's crazy that their Overwatch. He would literally Overwatch with them and kill whatever he'd Overwatch. He Overwatched a Ghost Arc to stop me from getting assassinate. Just fucking one bombed it. It's so mad that unit with Overwatch because he gets sustained and
mm,
rerolls ones. So it's just
that's pretty good.
yeah,
That's pretty good.
bonkers. He would multiple times in a row. He would get like 80% sixes, and I wish I was exaggerating. Like he'd roll the dice, he'd be like, "Yeah, that's 12 hits." I
Yeah,
was like, "What?"
yeah.
Like,
Well,
oh,
that happened to me in my RTT. My
yeah,
opponent
it was
had
so fucking
had
mental.
DDA, and he was like, "Oh, I might as well Overwatch with this DDA." I'm like, "Mate, come on, you got D6+1 shots on the big, and maybe you get 1/6. You got 6 for number of shots, of course, and then roll 4 6s on the big gun." I'm just like,
Oh yeah,
and
it's
then he
good.
went in with all of them, and he's like, "Well, there's 3 devs." I'm like, "You don't get your devs, sorry, because you don't get to."
Yeah,
But
it's really good.
I commit your saves and survive, so
But yeah,
I was okay, but
I only scored 27 on secondaries. Like I
yeah,
scored 2 points turn one, 10 turn two, and then it was 6, 7, 2. Like it wasn't amazing, but I was just happy to be smashing him on primary, and I won that game 13-7. And then
yeah,
every flip in our other 4 games went well,
nice.
so we won the round.
4-0,
I
baby.
looked over to James's table to the left of me. He was in his deployment zone turn one and had screened the entire board. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like it is fucking really quick. That list is
Yeah,
very very fun.
yeah.
It looks really fun to play.
Wind Raider host is crazy.
Yeah,
How fast they can
Raf had
be.
pushed into Greg and beat him 11-9. I managed to get the biggest win again with the old Necrons, fucking top dog. And then Courtney won 11-9 because he pushed into Matt's big demons and just locked him up, I think. So
Uh,
yeah, fucking Team England A, suck it. Love you all, obviously, but suck it. We're the team. We're the real Team England.
yeah.
Uh, we rode the lightning, and yeah, fucking 4-0 going into the final round. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what did you have? Round five, final round.
So we had your old buddies from Glasshammer, round
Ooh.
five. Manny, David, Dan, Gareth, and someone else. I can't remember.
Magic.
Yes, I'm guessing. Is that
Yeah,
what you call them?
that's what we
Um,
call it.
and like the pairings didn't actually look too good for us on paper. Um, I ended up playing against Dowid with his guard, which I had down as a pretty decent win. But again, it was a bit of a coin flip. This was the first game I went second the whole tournament, which was nice. I finally went second, and it was on scorched earth, which is gives you a bit of advantage as well.
It certainly does.
Makes it harder to deny, but you can, like they can get their 10 and you can get a 5 on turn 2 quite easily sometimes. But yeah, he managed to score his 10 primary the whole game. We were on a light board, so we wanted to take the light board away from one of their other armies. So I had on the light board, and my plan was to have like Illuminated Serras next to something on my flank objective, so he's low up, so he can never shoot me off it, and I can just stand there and score my primary, and then just shove all my warriors onto his flank objective and try and deny it. But it didn't quite work out that way. He kind of, it was kind of drawish, like the whole game, but there was some, like, turn one, I drew Bring It Down, No Prisoners, and he'd left me a Sentinel and 3 Tauroxes that were basically easy kills. I had a DDA that didn't have to move to kill the Sentinel. I had a DDA that did have to move to kill the other Taurox, followed up with a charge from a Scorpec. I had another Sentinel that I could shoot with the flat 6 Destroyer, and then charge with my Feel No Pain Lord and the Warriors to wrap it as in combat as well, so they couldn't necessarily get out. So I killed the Sentinel. The other Taurox, he popped smoke because I forgot to point my Psychomancer to battle shock it, so he couldn't use a strat. I pointed it at something else, and he passed those battle shock tests but he didn't. He would have failed on the Taurox. The DDA then proceeded to roll an ungodly amount of 3s, so I only did 4 damage to it and didn't kill it. The other one, I rolled a hit. He rolled a 6 to save, so he actually made quite a few 6s, which meant that my guy charged him, did 1 impact mortal and left him on 3 wounds. So or 2 wounds actually. So what was going to be like max no prisoners 6 or 8 for Bring It Down ended up being 2 and 2. And then obviously his Kazakin would have probably half died because the Warriors and the Lord wrapped most of the Torok. So he would have lost a few of those models getting out if it had exploded, but of course he didn't have to. He could just fall back, and so it just kind of went downhill from there. Basically, we ended up getting a 13-point win, but at the same time, the rest of the team kind of struggled a little bit, and it was like, if I don't win, then we might end up losing the round. So
Yeah, it
I
was
knew
pretty
I had to
close.
win, and it was going really poor because my cards were coming out bit hard, but I was able to battle shock big units like these 20 mana Krieg and then kill them so he couldn't bring them back, and then I could battle shock a unit of Kazakin, kill him so he couldn't bring them back. So he never actually was able to use his strat to bring back any of the infantry that I killed that game, which was nice. And yeah, I just basically kind of moved forward and started tagging everything as you do, trying to stop him. But I could never really deny him the primary. That was the problem that I had. Gaunt's Ghost basically sat on his objective, and I could never get enough warriors close to him to try and start shooting at them specifically. Like, I always had to deal with the Kazakin or the Deathcore Krieg that had like run forwards and stuff. So he basically just, because he was also giving himself +1 leadership and OC as well, which was really annoying because then I was trying to battle shock them and they weren't battle shocking because of the leadership. And he had like 30 OC on his flank, on his point, because of all of the models. And I was able to kind of clear them away, but it was a drawish kind of game, and I misread a little bit my damage output into him. If it had gone better in turn 1, then I think it would have been a lot bigger win. But there was just a few little things here and there that stopped it. I scored 90 points, but I just couldn't stop him scoring. Basically, he managed to score secondaries quite well. Um,
Yeah, it looked pretty close when I went over because obviously you
yeah,
were still playing. Manny had won 20-0, but then Dan had lost 18-2.
yeah.
So it was like swung a bit that way, and then
There was another close loss that we had as well. So we were on the like the losing end of the losing draws.
yeah, like
Kind of.
you lost 2 games, sorry, 3 games, and yeah, 2 more points. If David had just gotten 10, then it would have been a draw, a win for Glasshammer. So,
Yeah. Um, but as it was, like I managed to stifle him at his last turn when it came to his scoring as
mhm,
well. But I feel like if I'd been playing Hypercrypt, then that would have been an easier matchup, at least in a few of the matchups this time. Uh, but as it was, like I always find score primary pretty well. Like I maxed primary 4 out of the 5 rounds, I think,
mhm,
which was nice. But the secondaries always seem to struggle unless if it's a close game, or it's against an army that can lock you in your deployment zone. So, but then scoring primary and denying primary is a bigger differential swing in teams than scoring secondary as well. Basically, I think so. It's better to get the primary and deny the primary.
mhm.
But
Nice.
yeah, so I finished 5-0 myself. The team we ended up drawing that round, so we finished 3-1-1. I think we were a bit disappointed that we ended up drawing that round. I think we certainly felt we could win it. Obviously, they had some good players, so you can't win everything. But I think when we had the pairings, we thought, yeah, this looks pretty good. We should win this. But,
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. It happens with teams for sure.
mm,
Like sometimes somebody just doesn't predict correctly, and then they get run over. So my game five, we paired into Mind Goblins A or whatever, the Mind Goblins,
the,
the
the
ones that
team that we
you,
lost to, yeah.
yeah, the ones that you lost to round one. And it's on Scorched Earth, which is just the most drawy mission going, and nothing can happen. Everybody's just waiting for a game to blow out, and So I'm just going to talk about the pairings. So we've got Jonathan into Carl Grundy, Grey Knights versus Tau. Me against your first round opponent,
Mm,
the Demon player,
yeah.
Chris, who I spoke to, and he was like, "Yeah, this is the third time I've played Awakened this tournament." I was like, "Yeah, that is." I was like, "Now you're going to really play Awakened, mate." And then
The Awakened Master is
yeah, it's Johnny Simmons against James and then Jack against Raf and Martin against Courtney. So obviously we're into the rounds and I am going first, and he's like, and obviously he's like, oh, I had one dice roll to be a draw into one, and then I 20-0'd another. And I was like, yeah, that's fair enough, mate. I was like, so I just deployed all my warriors on a line across the entire deployment zone.
mm,
Um, and I was like, right, well, I'm going to lock my expansion down because obviously he's uppy downy. He can attack my expansion as much as he wants. So I need the opportunity, and I need to start, and I need to win this game. I put
yeah.
it as a small win, and I need to win this game to like trying to pick up the slack from my team because we've got some like really drawy games going on basically. And if somebody's game goes wrong, then I need to be there to kind of pick up the pace a bit because I think I'm going to win this game.
Mm,
So I play quite aggressively. Uh, I secure my flank, and then he makes the mistake of shooting the warriors with the big bird. So I just stop pulling from my expansion because he's not attacking it, so I can just leave flayed ones there. And then he charge, and then I've got like scarabs kind of like entangled in the warriors because they did containment on the bottom board edge. And then he charges the seekers into just the scarabs. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna heroic. And then he kills the scarabs, and then he tags my warriors anyway. So then I just get to pile in, consolidate, res because he killed someone shooting. I kill this, and then in my turn I was like, right, okay, so now I can just fall back from the seekers and then attack his expansion.
mm.
He's got blood crushers there and hounds. Hounds are in front, blood crushers are at the back. I killed the seekers. I charged the hounds. He heroics. He's like, I can heroic with the blood crushers, right? They do the mortal wounds. I was like, that's fine. He charge it. He heroics. He gets a fucking 11. So he has to, because he got an 11, he had to come off the objective right round. So I was like, okay, now I need fewer warriors on the objective. He kills the thralls with the mortals, and then he kills probably 7 warriors in combat. I rezzed 5, or maybe he killed more than that. He killed quite a lot. I rezzed about 5 back. I didn't have a full squad. I think I had 14 warriors left at that point, and both the thralls were dead. I took the point off him though, so I gave him 5 on primary, and then the next turn, I fell back. I charged the hounds again and the blood crushers, um, because I didn't want them to charge impact mortal me again. Uh, I survived the storm. I did the 13 boys rezzed. I rezzed 13 guys, which was crazy. I've never rezzed 13, and yeah, took his expansion again, and that happened for that happened for 4 rounds in a row. All the
Nice.
meanwhile, I've just got both my feel no pain guys just sat in the middle trying to burn. So
Mm.
we keep, and then I sent other Scorpius into his deployment zone to tag him up and kill some stuff. And then basically the name of the game is just to tag him.
Yeah.
He put his Bloodthirster down instead of the 6 Blood Crushers to charge my warriors, fought them, killed about 7. I rezzed 7. And then he was just like, oh, now I've got him on the point with OC, and I can heroic with him in the future turns. So I just charged the dogs again, and he heroicked. I tied him up for an entire turn. It was just that over and over again. I was just tagging him non-stop. The differential just became too apparent, but I had some bad turns with cards. I only scored 2 points on round 2, and I was redrawing every round. Um, yeah, I just didn't. I only scored 30 on cards when I pretty much had control of the whole board. He just had his big stuff left, but he scored even less on cards. He scored 21. Uh, and yeah, he got 15 on primary in the end, and I got 15, and I won 14-6. Courtney was having a pretty shit game against guard,
Mm.
and his opponent was like, "Yeah, I'm going for a win." So my opponent was trying to keep the game as close as possible, but just couldn't basically because I was really, really aggressive with the Warriors.
Yeah.
I was basically just pushing them to the limit. Like he did something silly where he moved his blood crushers round, charged the middle of the string, which was good of him to do. He did the mortal wounds. I killed all the ones in base contact, so he would have to like pile in opposite directions. He piled in 4, killed all the ones that were going to die anyway to coherency, so that's fine. And then but then he made the mistake of tagging the warriors that were left. Like I
Yeah.
can put, and so then that let me move, move round, and then I landed an exact 7-inch charge, which is what I needed because he gave me all that movement to go right back onto his expansion, and then I killed all the blood crushers anyway, so it literally was pointless.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so we made a lot of mistakes. Basically, I said after the game, I said you shouldn't even interact with them if you don't think you're going to kill them,
Yeah.
and you should do a better job of like locking down your expansion because having the dogs there gave me an easier against the wall, gave me an easier charge than if you just had them off the wall.
Yeah.
So yeah, we basically drew the round almost exactly 51-49 because I got the 14 points. So if I hadn't have gotten the 14 points and it'd been a 10-10, then we would have lost the round, I think.
No, 51-49.
Oh
You
no, it still would have been a draw.
you're fine.
So
If
yeah,
you'd lost, then
yeah.
yeah.
If I'd lost or Raf had drawn, because it's just an incredibly drawy mission. That's the problem I have with keep it in singles, I guess, but
Yeah.
teams
I
is
think
just so drawy.
same with like Purge the Foe, really, because it's hard to stop people from getting 32 primary.
It's just yeah,
One
Purchase
one
can be really
kill,
volatile though.
one kill, one objective, and that's 32 primary. And then you're getting 50, so that's 3 differential points just on primary if you dominate the game, because they're always going to get a kill and a hold, right? Unless they're tabled by turn 3.
It depends. Like
Most of the time.
when I watched Richard Siegler against Nas at BFS, he literally only gave Nas 2 kills all game because he just played it so well, which is obviously what his list is designed to do. I mean, it's a hard list on Purge anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's ways to mitigate losses because if you just don't interact with your opponent
Yeah.
and stop the hold more without giving a kill, then you can kind of like worsen the score.
Yeah.
But yeah, we finished 4-0-1, so we drew, and then we assumed that there was another team that was undefeated, and Mind Goblins had scored loads of points, like loads of battle points. So we were just like, yeah, we're done for the weekend. If we do have to play, we'll just concede it because we don't want to play another game.
Yeah.
We were kind of just knackered. Um, and yeah, then they were like, "Yeah, you've got to play because the fucking other team lost." So we had to play Mind Goblins again, and we just said to them, "We were like, we'll just give you the win. We're really not bothered by it."
You can't say that. You got to play that. You got to have some game integrity
Yeah,
there. And you guys all did play your games out. I was there
we
watching the
yeah,
games.
I mean, yeah, well, yeah. To finish, we played a game. But because they said that they'd drop us basically. They said they'd drop us if we didn't play. So we played, and we just said, "Yeah, we're just gonna give you the win anyway." Like it's just like you can feel however you want to feel about it, but we were happy just to get that far, and it really didn't mean a bunch to us. We just didn't want to play a whole other game. We had plans and stuff. Just it felt fine. Like maybe it would have been nice to if I had like the energy to go for it again, because I feel like we probably have a good chance,
Hmm.
but it wasn't. I'm just happy with how well we did. We came second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
did
did
well.
really good. That's probably the best run I've had. I went 5-0 personally as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, a
10 and
lot of
0 between
fun.
us. 10 and 0 between us was good. I did
Yeah,
finish above you after 5 rounds in the single
after
standings.
5, yeah.
And then you
So,
had an
but
extra game that you didn't want to play,
yeah,
got some more points and jumped over
you
me, but
played
that
some
does not
easier
count.
opponents, I think, from what I saw. So
I had some rougher
you
matches.
got a 20-0 given to you, so that doesn't really count.
I earned that 20-0 in
No,
previous
he
games.
he gave up. So yeah, it was a good weekend. I feel like I don't think I can improve the list. I think that is the
You,
Awaken list.
yeah, you.
I know how to
So
play
if
it.
you were playing it in singles, would you not prefer that those two extra little shooting units rather than the
No,
scarabs?
I'm fine with what I've got. Like it just does everything I want it to do,
Hmm.
and it sounds really big headed, but it's like such. It's not as simple as people think it is, and it's such a perfect. Um,
Balance.
yeah, well, it also like player skill just comes into it so much, which I really, really enjoy about it. The main thing that my opponents would say to me is that they didn't expect the warriors to be using the way I was using them. It's deceptively tricky. Like there's loads and loads of things you can do,
Yeah,
and tricks you can pull to like get an upper hand on your opponent, like coherency tricks, pulling, taking worse saves, blah blah blah. I've explained it a
absolutely.
lot in my other
Oh yeah,
videos, but there's so many things that you can just do when you learn how to do it. The main thing about the list is just knowing how aggressive to be with that unit, and if you just teetering on the edge of like aggressive enough, it
yeah,
rewards you so much.
yeah. And there is something to be said for once you find a list that works for you. Like I had that with the hypercrypt list. Like I looked at it, how can I possibly improve this? And I'm thinking, nah, I think this is as good as it gets for me in this particular list. Like I'm sure someone else could take it away and change the units around because they prefer those other units. But yeah, so if you feel like that's the list that you're going
Yeah,
to keep,
it's
then fair
yeah, it's
enough.
really really working for me. Like
Fair
this, I
enough.
feel like it just it just rewards you so well. Like it has answers to so many
Yeah,
things, and there's not much. I've never ever once played a list ever before where I've looked at the matrix and I'm just happy with with nearly every pairing. I'm like, yeah, I can win this game.
yeah.
I can win this game, and it's literally just because of the Psychomancer. Sometimes just them on their own, well, but made me feel like I can now win that game.
But that
And
also comes from playing with the list for a while and actually playing those matchups. Because if you keep changing the list, keep changing between detachments or changing armies, then it becomes very difficult to know how the game's going to go,
Yeah,
or
and
how the units can work.
I've been playing that list now probably
3 months, 4 months.
4 months. Yeah, like easily 4 months. And it originally started with wraiths, and then obviously I'd worked
Yeah,
all the way through that, and then I picked up the warriors, and then yeah, it's been I tried like the American list with the psychomancers and everything, like all little bits. So yeah, really, really happy with how it's turned out, and I wouldn't change it at all. I
yeah,
think it does exactly what I want it to do.
yeah. So I went to an RTT on Tuesday, and I decided I wanted to play my Tesseract Vault. Where I was expecting Games Workshop terrain like they normally have. It wasn't Games Workshop terrain. I changed the list a little bit. A little bit. I took out the Doomsday Arcs. I took out the Destroyers. I took out the Scorvec Destroyers. Uh, I left in the Lords. So basically my list for this tournament I thought was going to be fun was Sarah's Imhotep Hurricane Overlord. So the Overlord was going with 5 Lich Guard with the Veil of Darkness, which I completely forgot every single game. 2 Psychomancers, as you do, Royal Warden, 3 Scorpet Lords, obviously one with the Feel No Pain, but no Scorpet Destroyers. 20 Warriors, 2 Cryptos, 5 Flayed Ones, 5 Lich Guard, 2 squads of Scarabs, Reanimator, Vault, and Ghost Arc. So my only shooting was literally the Tesseract Vault and my Warriors. Obviously, like, some of the characters have got little chip guns. But I thought, this will be okay. It's just a little local RTT. I look at the roster, and there's like 3 squads of Dark Angels with 15 Deathwing Knights, Custodies, Imperial Knights, Chaos Knights, and I'm thinking, oh man. And then also my friend who was on Hypercrypt Necrons with Silent King 3 DDAs. And I just thought, oh, this is going to be pretty rough. This is going to be very rough. And I regretted instantly changing the list because taking out DDAs, putting in the Vault and taking out the Scorpet Destroyers because I wanted to try the Lich Guard blob as well, but I really like my Scorpet Lords. So I thought, this will be fine. So round 1, I, of course, get Custodies. Oh, boy.
Ah, dear.
15 Wardens.
It's good for the vault, right?
Loan up Bike Captain. It is if you roll well. Like, let me see. I think I went first again, like I normally do. No, I went second, actually. And I said on turn 1, do you want to pop any Feel No Pains shooting? He's like, no. So I shot my direct gun into some ones. I think I killed 1. That sounds about right.
Oof.
And it was just an absolute slog trying to kill all of these custodians that were just like, well, here they are, just run them all forwards. And I'm just thinking, please don't do that all at once. So I'm charging with the Warriors. I'm tagging everything. I'm shooting everything. And yeah, it took me so long to kill these things. It took me so long to kill them. I eventually did kill them. And I won, was it 90 something, 99-61. So but it just felt really rough. I really missed my DDAs. I just thought, well, if I had 2 DDAs here, this game would be so much easier. Yes, you pop his Feel No Pains, but then I've got 3 Scorpet Lords that can charge you with Impact Mortals and then 3 damage, so that's just going to kill the squad. But yeah, and of course, the Psychomancer was actually really good because he kept rolling 6s on his leadership and he was looking for
Mm,
7s because of leadership 6. Apart from Trajan, of course, who was leadership 5, so he was
yeah.
passing. But yeah, I struggled so hard to just move block him because it was also on UKTC as well, which I wasn't expecting. So we were playing Sweeping Engagement Terraform round 1, which was, he just had his units just like, well, there they all are, and I'm like, I can't kill all of these at once. I can't tag 3 blobs of wardens with the warrior blob. I just can't do it. So that was pretty rough. Then round 2, I played against Tyranids.
The bane of your existence.
The bane of my invasion fleet nids with the Gene Stealer blob. Okay, fine. So I kind of baited him out by putting two warriors near the center so that I could just pull behind the wall, and everyone else was an inch away behind the wall. And he shot me, so I just pulled those 2 guys after he brought his Gene Stealer blob out, and then they were just there in the open. So they managed to kill some scarabs and then died. That was it. And the game was over after that. I just ran forward and tagged literally his entire army. There was very little he could do. It was actually it was a really close game in the end. because it was on Burden of Trust as well, which is like the worst mix. Like, if you're going to use UKTC, at least use a modern pack, right, rather than an old one. And I got no prisoners, bring it down, turn one. Like, I can't shoot anything because I can't see anything, and so I flipped, bring it down, and got sabotage. So I managed to get 3 for sabotage, and he had 1 rupture Terran effects, which is actually not too bad because usually they have 3. But this 1 rupture Terran effect still did. I think it shot the Tesseract Bolt down to 2 wounds. Like, oh, there you go. And I ain't got a spider, so I've not even got
Failed
a field no
save.
pain. I just hate those things. They're just so annoying. But the vault did explode, but it didn't matter at that point. I killed everything else and tagged all the stuff, and but he still managed to hang on. Like, his primary was awful, but he scored secondaries really, really well. He scored 10 on round 5, whereas I was just getting 4, and my secondaries were awful. But I didn't really have anything that would, like, everything just got tagged and was just trying to hold his stuff in position. And of course, the Psychomancers did nothing because everything was synapse again. So 3D3, like, well, so much for that. I'll just run out and try and shoot you with 1 shot. It was a fun game, and I've played him twice before, and each time there's been like 1 critical mistake that he's made, which has cost him the game. First time he let me shoot his zone throats with a DDA, and I just killed the whole squad basically. And then the second time, I think I was playing with the Warriors again, but he didn't know what to do. But at least with this game, he did. But he kind of went, "Oh, I feel like
Sort of.
I've got to run out. Like, I can't just leave you just sat there scoring the points because I made sure that I was outside of 12 inches of his Neurolictus battle shocking me unless he runs through the wall, and then I can just kill him on that turn." So, so yeah, I put him in a bad position, and he just kind of went, "Oh, I've got to go for it," and made the mistake of shooting the Warriors so I could pull the 2 that were sat on the objective, which of course then I was able to reanimate onto. I didn't get the point because obviously he passed all of his battle shots, which is
Yeah.
annoying. And then round 3, I paired into my friend on his Hypercrypt Necrons, and I can't tell you how salty I was because this was his first tournament with Necrons. He's historically a Death Guard player. We've played a lot of games. Um,
Who was it?
his name's James McMurray. I
Uh,
don't know if you know him.
I've heard of his name.
You've played him. He'll have been at tournaments. He does come to some UKTC ones before. He's the one who lent you that DDA actually.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So yeah, so he was slowly collecting his Necrons back then. This was his first tournament. Hypercrypt, three DDAs, King, some score packs, 3 hex marks. I'm just thinking, this is awful. It's on scorched earth. I have no shooting apart from the vault. He just deploys everything on the line, and I can't hide the vault. And he goes first and just 1-taps it. And I'm like, oh god, this is not good.
uh,
This is not going to go very well. He got containment recover turn 1. I drew sabotage and cleanse. I decided to do a sabotage, and he just killed my guy doing a sabotage. I ditched cleanse and got marked for death. So I was like desperation
nice.
mode. My attacks back. I killed 3 Scorpec destroyers, which he'd used to kill my flayed ones, which he didn't need to do at the time, but he decided to. And I killed his 5 flayed ones with my warriors. But 2 crypto thralls basically charged onto his flank. So I was just able to deny him. That was the thing. Like, he didn't have enough OC turn 2 to score to stop me from my warriors from denying him. And then he kind of moved a bit too close to me, so I just tagged his entire army with my warriors. 3 DDAs were tagged.
I
His
saw the photo. It was
Greys.
amazing.
Sarah's tagged his Silent King. Like, I was spread out on the entire board. I literally gave up trying to shoot and kill him because I handed him 7 saves for 3 damage on turn 2. On turn 1, sorry. And he passed all of them. So I just thought, I'm never going to kill these DDAs. They survived until the end of the game. I'm just going to try and... I just, like, denied in primary, just denied the Warriors, just res, died, and basically did what you did. And I just kept stopping him from
Best
moving
way.
and scoring. Yeah, it was quite funny. And from the position where I was convinced I was going to lose, I ended up posting a big win, maxing primary on Scorched. And I actually scored 33 secondaries. Like, it went pretty well for me after that in terms of secondaries, and denied him quite a lot. So somehow, despite losing 500 points on turn 1 and killing 150 back, against Hypercrypt, and I also gave up screening at that point because he could. The only thing he had was literally two hex marks, upping, downing, shooting stuff, and that was about it. So yeah, I won 93-62. Ended up winning the tournament. Got a fourth Clumsy Orcs trophy, which is quite nice. So
Nice.
it's crazy. Warriors, man, they're just obscene.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. They're pretty damn good.
They are good. So yeah, but
Nice.
it was an awful list. I forgot the Veil. The Lich Guard and the Overlord did literally nothing. They were so bad the entire game. I started them in reserves, thinking, "Oh, I'll wrap it in, the rest of them for free," and then waddle forward five in charge, and they never had anything that they ever wanted to go near. They just like I had nowhere to go. I couldn't go in deployment zone.
Mm-hmm.
Turn two, turn three. Like it's one of my killing units. I didn't want it to hide so much, and then I forgot the veil, and yeah, it moves so slow. So you could just move away from them, and they just like, okay, well they're doing nothing. So I'm not going to take that unit again.
Yeah. Did you take that for the ITT?
No, I was going to take it because I was 50-50 on whether I take that third lord with second Scorpex squad or I take the overlord because it's the same price. It's the same 170 points if you don't include the veil.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted the veil. I was going to put it on a Psychomancer because why not? Or a Scorpet Lord probably would have been better. But yeah, the I wanted to try the Overlord because having it like even more CP, having the +1 strength and AP, the free heroic, whatever, is still strong. But they just didn't do anything really. They really just
Yeah.
don't. They don't. They trade into units that I can already trade with the rest of the army. So it didn't. They move a bit too slow. They're not quite as tanky as you
Yeah,
think.
they were okay when I played them. It wasn't amazing.
Yeah, so that was an experiment. That I would have been better off with just two Scorpex squads that I could attach to my characters,
Mm-hmm.
especially the matchups that I played because it was just unlucky that it was those specific matchups. But
So, do you have any tournaments coming up?
no, just at the end of the month at the moment.
Nice.
I've got a well, actually, no, I tell a lie. There's another midweek RTT that I'm going to go to. Um, no idea what I'll play. I might try Star Shatter. There's going to be some Death Guard
Mm-hmm.
there, so I might see how Star Shatter does into Death Guard because I'm kind of leaning that way. I don't think the Warriors, if Death Guard becomes really, really popular, are going to be a good call because Death Shard Terminators, they just tear through them too quickly.
Yeah, they do.
And especially when they can 6-inch deep strike as well, which is,
Yeah, it's really easy to get the 6 inch off.
yeah, especially in the Warriors because the way you have to play the Warriors, you have to push them forwards, which means they're going to be in contagion the whole game. Which means that they can just drop them down 6 and then have a nice easy charge. Or you hit rapid and you just can't kill them because they go, oh, -1
Yeah,
damage. But so your
they're not
DDA is
-1
killed
damage,
too.
are they?
They can be for the
For
strat.
a strat. Yeah.
Yeah, but you just sit near this Demon Prince, which is an auto take. So your DDA is now a half damage and they've got the foreign pinball as well. So you're not really killing many of them. And then they just tear through you. So
Yeah.
it might be a change where that becomes a bad matchup for us if we're taking Warriors. So
Yeah.
we'll
I'll
have
have
to
to
play that
test it out.
and
I've
test
got an
it.
RTT this weekend. I'm playing Emperor's Children because I want to play them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I want to get them on the table. They're quite fun. I played
Yeah,
against the new Death Guard with them. Fucking hell. It just feels horrible. Like
yeah,
they get, I mean, it's probably a good matchup to Emperor's Children if I know how to play them properly, but I don't yet. So I'm learning that, and then I'm still going to Germany at the end of the month. But
yeah.
I'm having a bit of a break from 40k, I guess. Not break, but just not as many tournaments. I've got a lot of gigs planned and stuff, so
Yes.
a lot of fun and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
I'll be playing some practice games. We're trying to organise an apocalypse game for the end of the month.
Nice.
Get like 40,000 points on the table for a day would be pretty cool.
I'm seeing some kind of tribute act in Manchester on the last Friday of the month, so that should be fun.
Tribute to who?
I think it's a bunch of bands, but they're mostly metal bands. I think
Nice.
James is one of them.
That sounds
Um,
pretty fun. That does.
yeah, yeah, it should be good. So,
Might have to come down myself.
um,
Right. Well, shall we
yeah.
call it quits
Well,
before
I think
you internet fails again? Yes.
yeah, let's call it quits.
Yeah. We were going to have a
All right.
look at
Thank you
rest
for
of the
everyone for
day,
watching.
but no.
Yeah, it's just the same old 44% win rate, lads. Don't worry.
Yeah,
We're here to help.
Necrons are doing
Fucking
great. No
yeah.
event
If
win.
you want help for coaching, if you contact us via the comments on YouTube, that's probably the best way to contact us. Otherwise, please do comment anyway. Subscribe,
Yeah.
like, all that jazz. Tell your friends about us. Manny Chima said we are one of the best Necron podcasts out there
Oh,
just
that's very
today.
nice of
So
him. Very nice of him.
yeah,
One of the best.
yeah, yes, he said it in such a way. I was like, one of the better or something like that. I was like, do you know of another one? But yeah, fucking get watching, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Yeah.
Ta-ra.
Bye.